What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Stella Herself podcast. It's me, Stella herself. Y'all hear the literature? Yeah. As always, thank you so much for listening, for watching, and don't forget to screenshot this, take an aesthetic pic or boomerang, share it to your IG story, tag me so I can repost, retweet, all of that. Thank you so much to everyone who did that last week or who has ever. And let's just go ahead and get started. I would just like to say that I'm just so annoyed today. Not to give y'all bad vibes, but I was just feeling annoyed. Just everyone was so annoying. Just so annoying. I'm not going to say specifically, but I was just so annoying. And then I checked my little personal horoscope and it was something, I think it was Mercury square Mars. So it was everything will be annoying. And it's Mercury retrograde, so it's just I'm going through a lot. Let me know how your Mercury retrograde is going. When does it end? The 18th. So we have a week left, and then, the shadow period. I think it's the 18th. But yeah, I don't know, it's not it's been so bad, but it's just can't wait until we can just fully chill. It's just oh my god, please make it stop. Yeah. It hasn't even been that bad, but it's just everything is just kind of annoying. Or I went out on Saturday, and even that it was fine, but I was just every guy that tried to talk to me, I was just so disgusted. Just leave me alone, please, yeah. But that's regular. It's Columbus Day, and I didn't know this was still a celebrated day because I tried to go drop off my Poshmark. Welcome to the Stella Complaint Hour. And the post office was closed. What? So I wanted to talk about this book. I've talked about it before, but days like this, happy Indigenous Peoples Day, okay? Days like this remind me of this book I read called Lies My Teacher Told Me. Everything your American history textbook got wrong. So he talks about Columbus in this book and, the truth about Columbus, and it's just crazy, all throughout elementary, middle school, probably high school. We're just taught a very Eurocentric, white point of view of history. And especially when it comes to people like Columbus, who actually, did horrible things to entire groups of people. She's he discovered America. He's a hero. We wouldn't be here today without him. So what is this chapter? Yeah. But I do remember, and I think I've talked about this before too, but in 8th grade, it was that was when we started learning about the Revolutionary War and those kind of times, I think. But I do remember my teacher. That class was so lit. 8th grade was probably my favorite year of school ever. All high school, middle school, elementary school. 8th grade was the best. It was there was starting to be some tea, but, not everyone, hates their life yet. And, I don't know. It was just so fun. But my social studies teacher was so lit. That was, the best class. It was the last class of the day. And it was just, so fun every time. It was amazing. But he actually did give us the real tea about Columbus, and I think that was the first time I know most kids had ever really heard that Columbus was actually not this hero, what a traveler, what a guy. No, he actually is disgusting. So I would recommend this book just for it's not just about Columbus, but it's just about a lot. It's basically the whole history of the US. And then what's the People's History? I think I read most of that, but I remember it was like a PDF, so it's just like a little, I don't know, those are always like just a little more hard for me to read because something about having a book in my hand is just like, okay, focus, Nations that were discovered, in quotations, conquered, in quotations, civilized, and colonized by European powers, are now independent, at least politically. Europeans and European Americans no longer dictate to them as masters and native, and therefore need to stop thinking of themselves as superior, morally and technologically. A new and more accurate history of Columbus could assist this transformation. Bro, what? When our textbooks glorify Columbus, they prod us towards identifying with the oppressor. When textbook authors omit the causes and process of European world domination, they offer us a history whose purpose must be to keep us unaware of the important questions. Perhaps worst of all, when textbooks paint us simplistic portraits of a pious heroic Columbus, they provide feel-good history that bores everyone. And that's kind of like the whole point of this book. I haven't actually read it in a while. I did like read the whole thing, but it's just been like a minute. But that's kind of like the theme of the book, is like how like most kids are just so, and most people in general are just so bored by history, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that it is very like, it's like always like rated G, or it's just like it seems boring, like, oh, we have to learn about these like old white men, like, and then this guy came and taught everyone how to like do this, and it's like that's not actually like what happened, and it's almost like a Disney version of like real events, so I would recommend you should read this if you haven't. It's also like very easy to read. It's not boring. It's like just honestly a lot of tea. I should reread this, to be honest. But yeah, just wanted to mention that because it is Columbus. Dang, I just remember there was this one page that I posted, and it was like just, it had such a good paragraph, but maybe. Christopher Columbus introduced two phenomena that revolutionized race relations and transformed the modern world: the taking of land, wealth, and labor from indigenous people in the Western Hemisphere, leading to their near extermination in the transatlantic slave trade, which created a racial underclass. Textbooks be like, Christopher Columbus found America, he was a leader, and he was brave. So yeah, once you like, actually learn about what actually happened in this world, it's just like, okay, this is why everything is the way that it is today, There's like, oh my god, like this book, the Come As You Are book about like sex and The Body Keeps the Score, and the Attachment Style book, all life-changing starter pack. Like, those are all books you need to read. Like, they will be like, oh my god. I feel like especially for like us, our demographic, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh my god, this is why everything is the way that it is. Like, everything. So yeah, read it. I got it on Thrift Books. Yeah, amazing. I don't know if I probably did share this story, so let me know if you've heard it before. But in 8th grade, like, just going back to that, like, that class was just so fun. Like, we had a student teacher. Looking back, I'm like, how was this allowed? But I just remember, like, I was walking to school with my friends, and I was like, low-key, he looks like his name should be, like, Randy. Like, we should call him that. And so we just, like, started calling him that. And, like, everyone started calling him that. Like, including the teacher, like, started calling him Randy. And that was not his name. Like, we were supposed to call him, like, Mr. his name. But we just, like, all started calling him Randy. And, like, I don't know if, like, we as a class could just, like, smell weakness on him, but, like, we could just, like, kind of, like, tell him to do anything. And, like looking back, I was like, how did the teacher, like, the main teacher allow this? But, like, he would try to, like, be authoritative, but we were, like, our actual teacher's so cool, like, you can't fool us by trying to be tough, like. It was just, like, so funny, bro. That whole year was so fun. Let me know in a comment what your best year was. Yeah, for me, it was definitely 8th grade. And then probably, like, 5th grade was also fun. So I wonder if that has anything to do with, like, being... Because both those years, we were, like, the oldest ones at the school. So I wonder... Also, it's, like, crazy high school, you were mixing like 14-year-olds with like 18-year-olds, like adults. Like that gap is so, like I remember the first day of high school just being like, oh my God, like there's big kids here. Like what the hell? High school's like a bad time. Like it just gets so much more serious, you know? 8th grade, there was still like that innocence and you're still like kind of a kid. Like, yeah, you start to go through puberty, but it's like, there's just not as much like drama, you know? Anyway, just some light thoughts. But I've told y'all before how I follow a lot of therapists on Instagram, and, you know, there's always the talk of like, oh, social media is like ruining our lives. But it's like, okay, yeah, if you only follow Instagram models who edit their bodies, like, yeah, that's going to be in your subconscious. But like if you follow some therapist accounts, like make the algorithm work for you, you know? So this, there was actually a couple. Let me talk about this one first. Where is it? Oh, pretending and acting, and this is from Haley Page Maggie. Pretending and acting like you don't have needs won't make you more likable or easy to love. It just attracts into your life people who are unable or unwilling to meet your needs. This was like groundbreaking to me because, you know, I feel like it's a really popular topic on this other podcast. Being the cool girl, you know, in dating or in relationships, like, oh, I don't want to be high maintenance, like I'm chill, I'm going with the flow, like whatever you want, like you can pick. And it's like, it just feels like that we think that's going to like make our lives easier, make dating easier, make friendships easier, but it really just like and like, it was so shocking too, because then it's like you think about the people that you've had in your life before, and it's like, that's literally so true. Like they were unable to meet my needs, whatever those needs may have been at the time. And like, it wasn't an equal relationship, you know, like it wasn't balanced. So keep that in mind. And then along with that, I think it's the same lady. Yeah. Breaking the people-pleasing pattern means preferring the discomfort of putting your needs first to the discomfort of putting your needs last. And I like how she like acknowledges that it can be uncomfortable, you know, because it's like, do you want to be annoyed and be passive aggressive and have to do something you don't want to do? Or would you rather like be scared that someone's going to like block you or tell you that they hate you or like beat you up, but like at least you're doing what you want? So it's like, it's going to feel equally bad, but it's like in the long term, putting your needs first is going to be better for you in your life. So we need to like all go in that direction. It's just like, oh my God. I would really recommend following her. And then what are some others? Millennial.therapist. Nedra Tawab. I think that's how you say it. I'll like try and link them down below. But yeah, I definitely recommend. Hey Bobby Banks. Yeah. Therapy for Women, that's like a classic. Love her. She also makes like TikToks, I think. Haley Page, yeah. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Like I really try and repost stuff onto my story that's like actually has meaning, because yeah, okay, sometimes we love a like little vibe of like everything you want will manifest this week. It's like, okay, better than like seeing something like everything you want will not manifest this week. But it's just kind of like, okay. So I try to like post actual helpful information. I've just been making like a conscious effort to like do more of that, because I love like reposting quotes and just like cute stuff on my story, because, you know, that's like literally what stories are for. But then I was like, you know, once I started thinking about all the fake positivity stuff and just like, okay, like, again, there's nothing wrong with like, may you experience a miracle this week, but then it's like, I just want to be a little more, I've been trying to be a little more selective with like what I repost and like really make sure it's actually something. Like, okay, we love vibes. We're here for vibes. I would rather have good vibes than like bad vibes, you know? But like, dude, also, you know what I hate is like when a bro, like, say it's just like someone you met, you followed each other on Instagram, like you met at a bar or something, and then they like say something like so stupid on their story, and you're just like, oh my god, I want to unfollow so bad, but like, it's like, what if I run into them again? Like, obviously, if it was so shockingly bad, like, I would unfollow. Like, there was someone I actually know who was like just saying crazy stuff, so I literally unfollowed immediately because I was like, I don't even want to be associated with you if you think like that about women. Like, it was like some crazy stuff, this dude posting that, like, just so horrible. But you know when it's just like lightly like, oh, you're like dumb. It's just like, oh my god, I will really mute people. Like, it's just like, because sometimes it's like, okay, I don't want to start beef by unfollowing because I know I'm going to see you again, but like, I don't need to see that. Like, I want to see my therapy pages, my friends, and like the mom accounts that I follow, you know? How are the kids doing today? Let us know. Update us. But yeah, it's really like all about making IG work for you. But getting back to the point, yeah, so the goal for this week, also I saw this TikTok where this girl had like, I think this is her thing. I think I've only seen her videos come up a couple times. I don't follow her, but she has like rules for each week. So I'm like, that's kind of like a cute idea. Like, I should do that for myself. Some of them for this week, she said, were like, don't drink until Friday, and then like try to get 20,000 steps one of the days. It was like cute. I need to like go back and follow. But a rule for this week, I guess I post these on Thursday, so maybe we can just like think of it as just like when you think of it, do it. But set a boundary. Like, if you feel uncomfortable because someone's asking you to, for example, like do something you don't want to do, or maybe this weekend, you know, your friends want to go out and you don't, or you want to go out and your friends don't, choose yourself and what you want. Even if you feel selfish or like a bitch or like uncomfortable or like annoying or like, oh my god, they're gonna hate me, like just do it and see what happens. That's everyone's goal. That's gonna be my goal. Like, let's just see. It's like, ew, I think, oh my god, it's just like so hard, like throw up. Yeah. Sorry, just reflecting. Bro, let me shut up. But yeah, that's just like so true. Another thing I was thinking about, just how it kind of goes along with this, what did I write down? Frustration of life being hard. And what I mean by that is just like, it never stops. Like, even, and I specifically was thinking about this because first off, I was thinking of like a tweet I saw where someone was like, oh, like, you know, our society, or like something I realized about being an adult is like our society isn't designed to like help us, and just like how we just constantly have to like avoid being scammed. You know, it's like you have to know all these like tips and tricks, and like, I don't know, like if you're buying a car, you don't just like buy the car. Like, you have to like negotiate and like talk them down and like just know all these little hacks, and you can't, it's like, can we just like not do all of that? And then I was thinking of it in like, you know, the more so relationship way of like you can't just like relax. Like, you constantly have to be like, especially like in any relationship or friendship, like, you know, you have to be aware of like the vibes. But, like, I feel like especially as a woman dating men, you have to be so aware of like hyper aware of red flags, and like you just can't chill. Like, fuck. Just like, why? It's like, can we just get to the vibing stage? Like, I don't want to go through all this like rules and like make sure I don't get murdered and like or like apartment, like, oh, make sure they're not trying to finesse you, like ask all these questions when you're touring, like stuff like that, you know? It's just like, oh my god, just chill. Like, seriously. And it's just like, it's never going to end. So just have to accept it, I guess. And sometimes it's like, you don't think about it as other times. But like I said, I was just like feeling annoyed in general. So I started thinking about that. And I was like, it's just like so annoying. Or like, when was I talking about this? But just like the vibe of, like, a recent example for me is, I don't know, a bro that I know asking me, I think maybe in the last episode I was talking about this too, when I was like, oh, back on my productive vibes, like, and I made a TikTok, you know, curving dude staying in the house, I'll bet you're bored, but whatever. But it's like, oh, I think I also said, like, I just used to be a lot more down to, like, oh, let's just, like, see what happens. And now it's like, if a random bro that I don't really know is like, oh, like, we got a table here, come out. It's like, my thought process now is like, okay, well, he's going to try to, like, get me to come over after or hang out with me after, and I don't want that. So, like, why would I put myself in that situation when I'm just going to have to, like, get out of it? Even if I have fun, like, there's still going to be that, like, oh, no. And, like, what if they try to convince me or, like, you know, don't respect the fact that I'm saying no? So it's just, like, let me not put myself in that situation. So let me just stay home. Just, like, stuff like that. It's, like, it's so hard to just relax. Like, what? Let me know if you relate. There's not really a point in me sharing this other than, like, maybe someone will relate, but, like, I don't have, like, an answer or, like, yeah, but obviously it's not, like, at least for me, it's not, like, life feels hard in that way, like, all the time. But sometimes it's just, like, when you get to thinking about everything at once, it's just, like, so, like, I'm just, like, frustrated. Like, it's just, like, let me live. I feel like that's why I really have, like, really like to just, like, keep to myself. Like, because it's, like, yeah, maybe I'll have fun, but, like, then I have to also deal with bullshit, so let me just, like, not at all. Let me know if you can relate. But yeah, it's just, like, very annoying. Right. Signs of toxic positivity. Always being the strong one and getting on with it. I think she's British, so getting on with it. Deflecting and hiding how you really feel. Quickly dismissing negative feelings or situations. That could look like, oh, well, I don't want to manifest it, so, or like, oh, not to be bad vibes, but like, I actually am not feeling. Using feel-good quotes to soothe the difficult feelings. Wanting everyone around you to be positive. Brushing things off that bother you. Feeling guilty about feeling sad, angry, or upset. I've literally experienced all of these, so really trying to, like, get over it. And I think that's why maybe I'm, like, getting more comfortable with saying, oh, I was annoyed. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend following all of these. I will link them all down below. Should I repost this? Yes. Just a little Bella Hadid meme. Stan. Love her. Saturn went direct. Jupiter and Mercury both go direct on the 18th. So I actually was getting my nails done, and my nail tech was playing The Quietest Revolution. And she's like, oh, I love her. Like, at first she was playing, like, tarot videos, and then she was playing, like, the astrology videos. And it was, like, so relaxing. Like, the girl's voice was, like, so soothing. But I was like, let me start watching these, because she just was explaining, like, the whole month of astrology, just, like, boom. And I know you can, like, read about it, but it was nice to have someone explain it, like, in the way I want it to be explained. So I'll link her down below as well. But then she was explaining it as, like, after all these planets go direct, you know, after being retrograde, it'll start to feel like forward momentum and, like, things are working out and just, like, that kind of vibe. So, and then Venus went into Sagittarius, which is just, like, a little more fun, and, like, I saw it described as, because, you know, Venus is the planet of love. So instead of, like, before when it was in Scorpio, like, being very intense and, like, almost personal, it's more, like, about love for the greater good, or, like, love for all, or just, like, I don't know, a little more fun and, like, light. You know, you want to, like, spend your money, but you're, like, optimistic about it. and then with Libra season 2. So the end of, like, this month is only going to get better and better. Is this toxic positivity? It's like, let us have something. So we have that all to look forward to. I hope y'all are journaling about your Mercury retrograde realizations. Also, this is something I was thinking about. Should I like write a book about all of my dates and then like red flags and like, I don't know, they wouldn't necessarily all need to be like red flags. Like, it's not like, it wouldn't be like a book of bad dates, but like realization, like not, like a little more than like a journal entry vibe, but like I just think that would be so interesting. And I think it would be also interesting to just like do and create as a project. Because some dates too, it's just like, it's like I want to like write about, like there was this one, I was like, oh my God. It felt like a movie. Like it was like so amazing. Did it work out? No, but like the experience, like I want to write about this. Like, let me romanticize this for as long as I can. Would you read that? You know? And then I just feel like it would be a little easier, you know, to make it like a little more discreet and not like exposing than like a story time. Like a book of stories, a book of essays. So that's low-key all I have to talk about today. Let me know your guys' thoughts on any of this. And don't forget to share. I know this episode was kind of short, but like that's just kind of how I've been feeling. Like I'm just like, ugh. It's Mercury retrograde, I swear. It's just like a lot of like personal reflections, you know, and realizations. So it's like, what can you really share? But follow the therapy pages, y'all. They've really been getting me through. Love you guys so much, and I will talk to you next week.